Many people say a dog is man's best friend, but few consider a parrot just as loyal and devoted. My Sherlock helped me realize that. Here's how it all began. "Mom, I want a parrot," I said one day. "Sweetheart, and who's going to clean the cage? Watch over him?" Mom tried to talk me out of it. "I'll clean it and make sure he's fed," I insisted. "Do we really need this trouble?" Dad grumbled. Since childhood, I have been obsessed with films about pirates and their parrots. You could say I grew up on them. I begged my parents to give me a tropical bird, but they always rejected the idea, giving me toys instead. Nothing has changed in adolescence. On the contrary, my dream has only grown stronger. I wanted a parrot so badly that I saved every last penny of my pocket money, even skipped school lunches, all for a good cause. At that time, I was devouring books about parrots. Eventually, my parents gave in. We broke open my piggy bank and bought a beautiful gray parrot, a jackal with a red tail. I named him Sherlock. My love for detectives was irresistible. Sherlock turned out to be incredibly clever, picking things up so quickly. I had to work hard to correct some of the bad words he picked up at the bird market. Right after university, I found a job and moved out. Of course, I took Sherlock with me. There was a lovely pet shop in the area where I bought food and toys for him. A girl named Harper worked there, a kind and sweet Harper. "I'm back." I winked at her, and she blushed a bit. "Is everything as usual?" "How's Sherlock?" she asked with a warm smile. She was always interested in both me and the parrot, and I enjoyed sharing my life with her. It didn't take long before I asked her out. I didn't even realize how quickly things escalated, and before I knew it, Harper was at my place. "I'm not a psychopath," Sherlock said suddenly. "What?" Harper jumped when we stepped into the hallway. "I'm a highly active sociopath," Sherlock added. "This is my Sherlock, the one I told you about." I chuckled. "Well, from your stories, it didn't sound so creepy," Harper said nervously, waving her hand. "Sherlock, what are you doing?" I called out. "Elementary, Watson." "I'm sitting in a cage," Sherlock replied. At first, Harper was terrified of Sherlock. She wouldn't even get close to the cage. But eventually, as with anything, she got used to him. Before long, she had fallen for my clever pet. As a form of duty, she started learning some of the phrases he had taught himself and let him perch on her shoulder. When I started staying late at work and practically stopped spending time with Sherlock, Harper really came through for me. "Jack, look at Sherlock," she'd say, nodding at the parrot. "The talker bird is smart and quick-witted," Sherlock chimed in, always ready with a line. I just sighed, a bit skeptical. Lately, Harper had been teaching the bird some odd phrases, even though I'd repeatedly asked her to stick to words from detective books and TV shows. After all, he was Sherlock. But with work keeping me busy until late into the evening, I couldn't really control the situation. I was saving up for a gold wedding ring. After all, finally, I reached my goal, bought the diamond ring, and planned a romantic dinner. "Harper, will you marry me?" I asked, dropping to one knee and presenting the box. "Yes, yes, of course," she exclaimed, her face lighting up. "Advice and love," shouted Sherlock from his cage. Everything seemed to be moving smoothly, or so I thought. I was still working late, now saving up for the wedding, or as Harper called it, the dream. One evening, when I came home late again, I checked in on Sherlock. Harper was in the bathroom at the time. "Sherlock, how are you?" I asked, gently stroking his head. "David," Sherlock suddenly shouted. "Wait, what? Who's David?" I froze, staring at the bird in confusion. "Sherlock, what is this?" I asked again, my voice tinged with disbelief. Just then, Harper came out of the bathroom. I watched this series, and the main character was named David. "I guess that's what Sherlock picked up," she explained. "You're teaching him now?" I said, half joking. The next day, I noticed something odd. Harper had moved Sherlock's cage to the kitchen, away from our room. When I asked her about it, she casually shrugged it off, saying she cleaned the cage and forgotten to move it back. I didn't think much of it at first, but something about it felt off. It wasn't until later that I noticed the door to Sherlock's cage was locked, and there was a rag stuffed under the small gap between the door and the floor. Something wasn't right, but I tried to push the feeling aside. Harper, what's going on here? I asked, pulling the rag from the bottom of the cage. Sherlock's been screaming all day. I'm at my wit's end, she sighed. How many times have I told you the door should be open, not covered up? That's enough. I scolded her. One evening I came home to find Harper wasn't there. She's probably still at work, or maybe out shopping. I thought. I didn't think much of it. I washed my hands, put the kettle on, and went over to say hi to Sherlock. It was just him at home, all alone. How you doing, buddy? I said, gently petting him. Do you miss me? I asked. Come on, hurry up. Sherlock suddenly shouted. I froze. My eyes went wide. What? Sherlock, I whispered to myself, still in disbelief. He had never said anything like that before. Where on earth did he pick that up? He kept repeating, David, who taught you that? I shook the cage a little, hoping to get him to stop. Harper, just a minute more, Harper. Sherlock chirped again. I stood there completely bewildered. My mind was racing, and I realized there were just too many questions piling up, none of which had answers. The only person who had been around Sherlock that much was Harper. Could it be? Was she really cheating on me? I thought about how she'd lock Sherlock in, how she'd move his cage to the kitchen. It all made sense now. And the repeated mention of David? It was too much to ignore. Finally, the keys jingled and the door opened. Harper came in, looking a little flustered. Harper, where have you been? I asked, my voice tight with tension. I was at a friend's, she answered, sounding casual. Look at this. Sherlock's been shouting some strange stuff. I said, trying to keep my cool. She blinked, seemingly unfazed. I repeated the phrases I had heard from Sherlock when I arrived home. To my surprise, Harper claimed she had no idea where he got them from. At first, she said she spent the whole day at work and then at a friend's place. But then all of a sudden, she remembered the series she was watching, the one with a character named David. Isn't that too many coincidences? And isn't the main character's name Harper? I grinned, tried to mask my growing suspicion. No. Oh my God, it's just the stupid Parrot, she exclaimed, banging her fist on the table. That dumb bird. We were just closing the door, that was it. The truth spilled out. Harper admitted everything. She confessed that while I was working hard to earn money for our wedding, she had been secretly meeting up with her ex, David. They'd reconnected, and just like that, old feelings had flared up. He even taught Sherlock those phrases, and it had all been happening right under my nose. Apparently, David had been visiting Harper at work, and one day he invited her to his place. He showed her a kitten he'd rescued from the street, and that's when things had gone too far. Before the wedding, you can't say anything, she whispered. I was done. That night, I packed up all my things and left. Bye, and don't promise anything, Sherlock called out, sounding almost too wise for a bird. My loyal Sherlock, my little spy, had opened my eyes to the truth about my fiancée. It's funny how easy it is to take a walk down memory lane with your ex while your current partner is working hard to build your future. Well, that would be a lesson for her. In the end, everything hidden will always come to light. And as for me, I fell in love with my parrot all over again. To show my gratitude, I bought him a new, bigger cage, a symbol of our unbreakable bond. So guys, if you all liked today's story, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon. Thank you for watching.